I recently set myself the task of watching the top-rated films on IMDb. I like IMDb, it's a site that I use myself a lot, but I think in terms of its core user base who rate films on there, it attracts a certain demographic. So this list was full of films for angry white boys. Now, I'm nothing of not an angry white boy myself, but I think generally I'm angry about different things to the rest of the people on there. So there were a lot of films that I didn't care about on this list, a lot of war biopics, a lot of macho posturing, and then there was Witness for the Prosecution. A black comedy murder mystery romp that is campy as hell and I adore it. I really recommend that you watch this film before watching this video. I would pause, I'd go find the film, watch it, then come back and watch this video through like 8 times, leave a comment and like and stuff so that I can get more engagement.
This is hell. You appreciate you are still under oath.
Okay, if you're still here, you've already seen it or you don't care. Witness for the Prosecution tells the story of Wilfred Robarts, a lawyer who has recently had a heart attack. Against medical advice, he decides to take on the case of Leonard Vole, a man accused of killing a rich woman whom he had recently befriended and who had named him as the sole beneficiary in her will. The only alibi for Leonard is his cold, aloof German wife, Christine, played by none other than Marlene Dietrich. Christine does provide an alibi, however her manner is cold and distant, aloof. She doesn't seem all that bothered about the fate of her husband. Besides, Sir Wilfred tells her that her alibi isn't that helpful because the jury is unlikely to believe the alibi of a loving wife. Wilfred decides not to use her as a witness. The trial proceeds, it's not going well for Wilfred and Leonard, and then it goes even worse when Christine is called as a witness for the prosecution. Hence the title. Christine gets up on the witness stand and says that Leonard actually came home that night and told her that he killed the old woman for the money.
How dare you say a thing like that?
Things are going very poorly, but then Wilfred receives a mysterious phone call from a woman with a Cockney accent who tells him that she has letters that prove that Christine is an adulteress, that she is lying, and that this is all a plan to frame an innocent man. Wilfred buys these letters, he presents them at court. Christine is disproven and is disgraced, and Leonard is acquitted of murder. I'm going to pause the plot synopsis there for just a second and give you one last chance to leave and watch the film.
This is hell. You appreciate you are still under oath.
Even from hearing that synopsis and knowing that there's probably a twist, you might be able to guess what the twist is. And yeah, when you present the synopsis of the film like that, it becomes a little bit obvious. However, watching this film, I have to emphasize to you how much I did not see coming what I am about to say next. Okay, that was your last chance. Here come the spoilers. Leonard is acquitted of murder. Christine is told that she will be tried for perjury. And that's when Christine reveals that the mysterious woman with the Cockney accent was actually herself Christine. Christine knew that the jury would not believe the testimony of a loving wife, which Wilfred told her, so she played a wife who hated her husband. She gave a reverse character witness, was proven wrong, and now Leonard is free. Wilfred says, well, why didn't you just work with me? We both knew he was innocent. And Christine says, oh no, you misunderstand. I knew that Leonard was guilty. Leonard killed the old woman for the money. He told Christine that, and Christine came up with a plan to get him off for it. Because of double jeopardy laws at the time in the UK, he cannot be tried again. Leonard comes in, cheerfully admits that he killed the woman, but then reveals that he has a new side piece and that he's leaving Christine. Christine kills him in a fit of pique, and Wilfred decides that he will represent Christine at her next trial. End of film. That all happens in about 2 minutes. The last bit that I just described, it's great, it's wonderful. I really cannot recommend this film enough. So, why did Marlene Dietrich not receive an Oscar nomination for Witness for the Prosecution? Well, United Artists, who distributed the film, really did not want people to know the twist. A la Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, they implored people, after watching the film in the theatre, to not give away the ending. The posters did the same thing, and United Artists, when they were pushing the film for Oscars consideration, did not highlight that Marlene Dietrich is essentially playing a double role, both Christine and the Cockney woman. Now, I've been dismissive of Marlene Dietrich's accent throughout this review, And I will admit, the accent is not very convincing.
Bleeding pants for letters like these.
However, Dietrich's performance as this random woman is amazing, and especially the makeup job that they do on her is fantastic. It's not a camera trick. You're not only shown this woman from behind and the camera refuses to focus on her, so you never really get the full effect. And you're like, oh, who is this? Ooh, no, you see her. You see her fully on screen. You see her face multiple times, and it does not look like Marlene Dietrich, or at least it didn't to me when I watched it through the first time. I'm sure there are lots of people who watched it were like, that's just Marlene Dietrich in weird makeup. But I will admit, I was fooled. I think it's an amazing job. I think Marlene Dietrich deserves real kudos for this performance. She changes her bearing. She changes her voice. I mean, it's not a very convincing Cockney accent. It really isn't. But then, this was very close to the release of Mary Poppins, so I just thought that's what they did in films at the time. It just because the accent isn't convincing doesn't mean that it's Marlene Dietrich. I mean, if Bert in Mary Poppins had turned out to be Marlene Dietrich, I would say that she was robbed of an Oscar there too. I really do wish Marlene Dietrich had received an Oscar for this performance. According, again, to IMDb, the trivia section for this film, she really expected to get a nomination for this. She filmed a video introducing a show she was doing where she, I think, referred to herself as a 2-time Oscar nominee or whatever, and then had to jettison that video when she didn't receive a nomination, which is horrible because she really would have deserved it. Oscar nominations or lack thereof aside, this film is wonderful. It's one thing that I really like as well that I would like to highlight very briefly. This film is not just fun. I mean, I love a fun film, but I especially love a fun film that actually has a really cogent theme. And one of the strongest themes in Witness for the Prosecution is truth and lies. I think this really shines through in the writing, is that if you watch the court scene with Christine, she never actually perjures herself. She says that Leonard admitted that he killed the old woman. That's true. She says she doesn't know the person that the letters are written to. That's true. I think it's such a wonderful use of this theme, and it's something you only notice when you rewatch the film later. This was apparently Agatha Christie's favorite adaptation of one of her works, and I can absolutely see why. It's great. I cannot recommend it highly enough. I sadly do think that if you know the twist going in, the film is not as fun.